Hey guys, it's Raythe here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the author of Everdark. Every week, I get together with the Everdark cast and we talk about things related to vampires, voice acting, and life. Sometimes I ask them questions, but sometimes they ask me questions. And by the way, we want to hear your answers to those same questions in the comments. All right, so we are returning to Christian's point of view for the first time since he was nearly drained to death. We all know that Christian didn't even believe vampires existed, and he has to now become one or die? Okay. If you were in Christian's predicament, what would you do? Choose a life as a lord or lady of the night, or roll the dice on what's next? Because unlike most beings, vampires do know there is something next. The Cali vampires especially know. And so Balthazar does not hide that from Christian, that there is something else. But he does not know what it is, obviously, because as a vampire, he has not crossed it over. So I'm going to ask you, Adam, what's your thought? Would you do it, or would you die?
These mega decisions. I think without a doubt become a vampire. But again, a lot of these questions are going to return to I really identify as a Christian, capital C character Christian. I think it's I don't know, there's something appealing about the idea of being a vampire, even though he's a skeptic, even though he went in as a non-believer. What an insane situation for him to have to be in, to not only come to terms with that these are real, but now to be given this choice. I, Adam, would always err on the side of the certain thing, even if the certain thing is not entirely appealing, even if the certain thing is maybe a little bit scary. I don't know. I'm so terrified of the unknown. I think in a similar way as Christian. There is something very appealing about the vampires, not only in this, but like all the lore around vampires too, and what he must know coming into this, having studied them. I just think it's the better option.
He definitely has to accept a hell of a lot of things he thought were false, but he prides himself on being evidence-based. So it's pretty evidence-based now that there are vampires. It's going to be interesting because he's paired with Balthazar, who is probably as opposite him as you can get. And Balthazar seems deeply in love with him already. And Christian's like, don't pet me. Like, he is like that cat that's like, yes, I know I'm beautiful, but stay the hell over there and don't come near. I'm going to hiss at you. So there we go. Now, Bruno, you play Caemorn, who is a Cali vampire. And the Cali vampires are actually able to see the dead, control the dead, take souls. And their biggest goal is to know what comes next and yet not be drawn in there. But obviously I'm asking you as yourself, if you were in Christian's position, you had this opportunity and you knew there was something next, there's something next, but you're offered to become a vampire instead. What would you choose, do you think, if you had to make a decision?
I mean, I've always had a very cool image of the vampire in my head, and the lone wolf stalking prey at night. I was a huge Buffy fan when it was on, and that image of the vampire, I'd probably be very tempted by that. Yeah.
I hoped you liked this behind-the-scenes discussion with the cast and crew of the Everdark podcast. If you want to join the conversation, come to YouTube and tell us what you think in the comments. And just so you know, I'm not the only one reading the comments. The entire cast is too, and they're very eager and excited to hear from you. If you are already listening on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe to get notified when the next episode of Everdark comes out.